Hello, Muscatine, and welcome to Muscatine in Focus. I am your host, Brad Bark, the mayor of Muscatine, and today we have two great segments, and I know I say great segments every time, but these are good segments today. So first we're going to be focusing on Rockin' in the USA, which is a concert that's coming up actually this Saturday, so we're going to be talking about that, and then soon after that we'll be introducing MCSA New Beginnings Gala. So without further ado, I want to welcome the gentlemen to my left and to the right. Everybody knows these faces, which is pretty cool, and our cool poster in the back as well. But just want to kind of touch base on who you guys are, what bands you represent, where you're from. Just kind of talk about history of maybe when each of the bands started, and we'll just kind of just start talking about that. So we have Mr. Mike over here to the right. Yep. What band do you represent?
Roadside Circus.
All right, Roadside Circus. So how long have you guys been playing it as a band?
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. Very cool. And where's everybody from?
Right here in Muscatine.
Right here in Muscatine.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. And out of all the people that are in the band, what do you play?
Bass guitar.
Bass guitar.
Yep.
If you could just talk about each person on maybe where they work.
Okay, well, I own Ritchie Sound and Lights, which is also a sponsor of this event that we're talking about. We got George Zames, plays guitar. He owns Geo John's Pizza down on 2nd Street.
He's actually right there to the right.
There
Look
he
at
is.
that.
Yep. Scott Berlin, which him and his father own Berlin's Pro Shop at the bowling alley. And then my brother Lenny Ritchie that works at GPC.
Very good. Very good. So you guys have been playing for some time now. What kind of music do you play? What do we expect to hear on Saturday?
Rock is hard rock music.
There you go.
Hard rock music, yep.
And just to kind of back up, so again, March 11th, this Saturday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Muscatine Armory, which will be just right down the south side. There's the poster right there, everybody. We have a couple posters. And first of all, I just want to say thank you again to all of our sponsors who have been very generous with their donations to sponsor to make this happen. Thank you to Capone's. I'm extremely excited to have another one of those chili dogs. They're really good. And I'm going to come over here to my left. Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Who are you? Who do you represent? What's your band? And talk to me about your band members, please.
Well, the new band is Zero Dark 30. Obviously, a lot of people know me from Blind Alley, which is no longer. But Zero Dark 30, we started about 2 years ago. Davis Birch plays bass and is doing some backing vocals. Scott Haney is the drummer and does backing vocals. George Zames. We kind of share one musician there.
That's right. Yeah.
George does backing vocals and guitar, and I do.
Look at that guy right there.
Look at that ugly guy.
All right.
And I do lead vocals and some guitar.
So earlier, before we got on air, how many years was Blind Alley?
Blind Alley, we started playing out in 1990, and then we retired Blind Alley at one of your shows, which was Rockin' on Sycamore, which would put Blind Alley at 29 years.
Wow, that's great. That's wonderful. And this is kind of a perfect little segue into what we're raising money for. But yeah, talk to me about your shirt, please, and your wonderful hat.
Well, I don't know where to start on that one. I am in law enforcement, reserved for the Muscatine County Sheriff's Department. And it's been a passion of mine for a long time. I got into that about 6 years ago. When you'd contacted me and go, well, you're the only law enforcement officer that plays music, and you got to do this. And I'm like, you know what, I'd be honored to do that. I am involved with Shop with the Cop every year, and we'll take out.
Sounds like something Brad would say.
Yeah, you got to do this.
I'm like, take no.
You know what? Yeah,
I compel you to do this. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm honored to do this. I got into law enforcement because my community. I'm born and raised in Muscatine. Got involved in music in junior high. Mike and I played in bands right out of high school. Been in Fifth Avenue together, you know, there was Foreplay and Bad Attitude and Fifth Avenue and Blind Alley and now Zero Dark 30 and Roadside Circus. We've played together for years and years, but with law enforcement, I just, my community I care about. I've always been a very caring person. And so I wanted to give something back to my community and help out, you know, natural disasters, whatever, good things and bad things. So the Shop with a Cop came around and I'm like, absolutely. You know, there's underprivileged kids that don't get the full opportunity to experience some things and might be short on, you know, school supplies and so on and so forth. And so, yeah, if there's something else that I can give, I'm willing to give it.
Well, and we appreciate everything you do to keep our community and our county safe. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for everything you do. And before we get to Mr. Seright over here, who are you?
Brian Chick. How are you, Brad?
Doing good. So, Brian, you know, it's been great. You know, it's 2018.
Yeah.
We were chatting and kind of
Basement talking about getting a big fundraiser going, and we had our band, the Poor Boys, and first impression the first year.
right.
Didn't know what to expect, but it had a pretty good turnout. And then we're like, me and Brad's thinking, let's go bigger and better. That's what we always do.
Go big or go home, right?
Yeah, so then we planned year 2, and what exciting would it be to put Lefty and the Spinners back together and Blind Alley, and everybody kept telling me no right in the beginning. So we said,
Now look at that picture right
You're
there.
a rock star.
I don't know about
Now
that.
that picture I've seen many times. You know,
Rock
it's-
star profile there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Brad picks on me about that one.
It's a good pick.
But
Yeah.
we kept bugging him and finally got the phenomenal show. But how do you ever top year 2?
Right.
That's
You
what
were
we always try
you were
to do.
pretty relentless
Yeah.
that year to get towards you guys and
Thank goodness.
to Blind Alley. So,
Yeah, it
it was fun though.
And trust me, every year we're going to top it again. Blind Alley's still in my head.
Well, and this is just a nice little segue. You know, you contacting, you know, Lefty and the Spinners. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
you want to touch on
I
that?
talked to Paul maybe for 2 months, back and forth, yes, no, yes, no. And finally when Paul said yes, I never contacted him again. I just advertised it, so he couldn't say no again. So. But what a phenomenal event that was, and just seeing him on stage again. You know, last time I seen him was when I was a kid, so
It was a pretty special.
it was a
event,
special
yeah.
event, and I
Absolutely.
Very much so.
think it had a lot of meaning
There,
to
look
everybody.
at that.
Yep,
That's
there you go.
That's what it's all about, right there. People coming together.
That's a day I'll never forget.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is great.
Going bigger. We're gonna go bigger this time.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to have people being dropped off by helicopters
Yes.
next year, right?
And we're at the Armory.
Well, and
Right,
look
we're at
at
the Armory, right?
We got the tanks and the equipment.
if,
There you go. There you go.
if anybody's going to be flying in for this show, they can just drop their plane
Yeah.
right there at the airport and walk right over
Absolutely,
to
right.
to the Armory right there.
That's how the Spinners will show
There
up.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Don't take a helicopter.
It's liable to be the short bus.
Well, well, welcome, Mike, and yeah, if you want to talk about
Thank
the
you,
group,
Brad.
the Spinners, and you know, it's a tribute, but yeah, take it away, sir.
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows the history because there was enough, publicity before when we did the one in 2019. And all of us, the 4 of us especially, will forever be thankful to you guys for asking and putting it together, because it got the 4 of us back together. And as things happen, everybody drifts apart. So, we appreciate the fact that we did that. Lefty and the Spinners started, there's some scary pictures. But started in 1970 with Scott Hendricks, and I started in 78. I played with Wayne, who's down there in the middle in the picture on my left, since 1966. We've been in a band together.
And by the way, that's the
So-
same guitar in both those pictures.
I did not know
That is
that.
It is.
He
That's
still
true.
has it,
It's
yeah.
not,
Oh wow.
So it's been, it's been really, really important to us. And now with you guys doing this. Here we are again, even though sadly we've lost 2 members in that period of time. But we were kind of floundering, not sure what we're going to do, although people asked. And thanks again to you and Brian. We've got Beth Van Zant, who plays drums and filled in after Paul had passed, and who had been, last year she celebrated 30 years with Left-Handed Spinners. And then Park McConaughey graciously said, sure, I'll play bass. So here we are, 4-piece again, and looking forward to it.
This is really exciting. So, what year did you start up again?
78. I started in 78.
78.
Yeah, and pretty much been with it the whole time. We had, after we stopped in 2000, would have been about 2008. We decided to do benefits after Bob Eichelberger had passed in 2011. So the next year we did a Relay for Life and got us all back together playing music again, and continued to do that until the call from you guys that, that got the original 4 back, well, the more original 4 back together.
I guess
And
Paul always called it the 70s era
It was.
spinners.
Okay.
It was probably a period of time when we played the most and got the most exposure. We were able to do a lot of really cool things with the radio station and playing with the Beach Boys in '84. And we got to do a lot of really fun things during that period of time with, actually it would have been the 4 of us, and then in '81 Bob Eichelberger joined and played keyboards.
So I have to ask, how was it playing with the Beach Boys?
Incredible.
That just
Haven't done
sounds
anything
cool,
like it
doesn't
since.
it?
You've got 10,000 people in John O'Donnell Stadium. Wow. So it's absolutely the largest crowd I've ever played for. And it just, Wayne and I especially were big Beach Boy fans anyway. So it was.
Paul was always
a
really
real
proud
kick.
of that moment as well.
Yeah. It was a real, and it came from our association with Jim O'Hara, who was at Kick Radio then, and Spike Odell. And, he came down to a benefit in Muscatine at the Moose. And then the next thing we know, we got some calls to do things that the radio station was promoting, and that turned into the Beach Boy thing and some other things like that. So it was, very cool.
It's amazing.
Very cool.
It's just amazing how everything works out. It's just set up perfectly. And you guys were elected into the Hall of Fame as well.
We were very fortunate to have that
Kind
happen.
of a big deal, right? That's great.
It is.
Yeah, I think that's
It is.
wonderful.
Some very nice people, you have to have somebody, nominate you and follow through and write a bio and do all that stuff. So and it's honestly the biggest kick we've had are all the people that have supported us all these years. What was so cool about 2019 was seeing all those old familiar faces, and that they're still coming out and dancing, and it's been the people. Not only the people, our connection in the group, because it's, as all of us that play in bands can attest, it's hard to keep a band together. So the fact that we were all very close, for all that time too.
People talk about a marriage being difficult. And I always tell people, I said, try keeping a band together. It's like married 5 or 6 times, and somebody's got to be the head babysitter and the patcher up person, because we have differences and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's always.
Yeah, it's and especially when we kept the kind of the core group, together, and it was just, meant a lot to all of us. It really did. So, guys, you guys are very special in our eyes, and here once again, you give us a reason to keep making music and stay together. So,
Mike, I'd like to say something. And
Okay.
when I was just a little kid and Mom and Dad would take me, I always was interested. I get in trouble in first grade singing into a box fan. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, the teacher kicked me out of class or something. But Mom and Dad would take me somewhere, and you guys would be playing, and I'd always looked at you guys, and it was just so amazing, and I always wanted to be like you guys,
we had fun. I mean, we didn't take ourselves too seriously, but we always had fun. And I've had more people tell me, you know, it just looked like you guys were really having fun up there. You know, and that's what keeps you together too. It was fun. There wasn't any drama.
And in 2019, there was many people. I mean, I remember Brian and I were standing by the building, just kind of looking like, this is just amazing. The amount of people that were up there just twisting and just, I mean, singing and dancing, it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool, and they were really excited to see you guys back again.
Well, we really appreciated that. That was,
You remember
Yeah.
we auctioned off the shirt,
was okay.
and that was fun too.
That's
And
right.
you guys all
Yeah.
signed it.
That's
I think
Yeah, they
C.J. Ryan ended up
Yeah,
buying
Yes,
that.
he did,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
yeah,
you guys mean a lot to the whole community.
yeah. It was fun. Oh, and we wouldn't have kept together all those years and playing if it wasn't for the people coming out and supporting us.
Right.
So we owe a big debt of gratitude to them too.
Well, anything else you guys want to share before the big concert on Saturday? Any last thoughts at all, or?
I mean, the only thing I say, maybe if we get Hoover to sing Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog before we close this.
Gotta
In
get
a
a
box
fan.
fan. We're gonna
Gotta
get a fan too,
In
because
a box
I'm not
fan.
gonna do it. And what was the song that you tried to get me to start singing? Bark at the
Bark at the Moon. I mean,
last name.
There you go, Mike.
that's what we should
No,
try to
I'm
do
good.
is
I'm
Get
good.
Mayor Bark up on stage.
the most donations. We'll have a thing on the stage, and I think if we can raise like $500 in there, we could probably get Bark up there singing that.
Well, if we put,
There
if
you
we
go.
put a dollar amount on it, if we get up
Yeah.
to a certain amount, then he's going to do it. So
Yep.
Wow! Wow!
Yeah.
With
Oh.
with the USA
Chad,
team.
we'll cut that part out.
You
I'm
just
just kidding.
created a new fundraiser.
So another cool thing too, you know, I know I saw some pictures of some of our law enforcement up there. You know, I know that we all back the blue strongly, but one of the things is that. Do you remember in 2018? Last thing we'll talk about, I promise. But in 2018, you had Whitney Pena. Do you remember Whitney Pena?
Yes.
She got up on the stage in full uniform, and she was singing the song "Zombies" by Cranberries.
Yep.
And she did great.
Amazing.
She did
Wow.
great.
Great
She's
vocals.
actually going to be there to sing the national anthem to kick
cool.
off things, and she's really excited about that
Cool.
as
That's
well.
cool.
So, guys, I thank you guys so much for doing this. This is year 3, basically. You know, we
Thanks
had
for
the whole
having
COVID thing, but
You bet.
thank you guys so much, and what a great opportunity to get back to the community. So
great.
I appreciate everything you guys do.
come on out on Saturday and have some
Absolutely.
fun. Support a good cause.
So
good
March
time.
March 11th, this Saturday, doors
Get
open.
in at 4.
Get in right at 4 o'clock, and we're going to be 5 o'clock to 10 p.m. of just having a blast.
We want to see absolutely everybody
beer.
out there, and let's pack the place.
We're going to pack the place again.
Raise money.
Raise money. There's going to be food there. It's going to be for a good cause. So thank you guys so much. And
And it is free admission, right?
oh, it's free. It's free admission.
Yeah.
And free
so
beer?
Yeah,
Everybody
it's
knows.
free admission and everything. So
Yeah.
echo, no. But no, thank you guys so much. And the next segment, it's gonna be packed now. And now next segment is gonna be MCSA coming in to talk about the gala, and look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Brad.